Hello and welcome to a special edition of Backstage with Boria with someone I have known for a good 6, 7 years now. A good 6, 7 years. The highest point of Indian women's hockey will always be Tokyo. I remember that Australia game and how we celebrated in Japan, COVID Olympics. Few of us were there. We were in front of the bus, and coach Sjoerd Marijne and his team, they stopped, celebrated with us, and left. Yes, we couldn't physically sort of shake hands because it was the COVID games. And then when India lost that semi-final, the players crying when all of us were giving them that guard of honor. A lot happened. A lot happened. That fourth place finish, I will say, coach, is one of the best memories that I will have in terms of gaining credibility, respect, and fight. And that's what has been lost, I would say, in the last couple of years. You two weren't in India. You decided to come back. Where the circumstances in which you left weren't the best. So, what prompted you to come back and accept this challenge once again when things aren't great?
First of all, very happy to hear that this moment is was so important for you, as well as for me and for the girls, for a lot of people. And these are beautiful thoughts. But in my mind, I was 4.5 years out of India. It's also got I get really the feeling like, okay, when I've been asked, we have to find a way to create a story again, and maybe even a better story. And that's one of the things why I accepted the job. And the other thing is, I know the circumstances are much better now than in the past without the corona. Besides that, many upgrades have been done at SAI, at where we train. The facilities are much better, the food is much better. So a lot of positives. And I also see there is quality in the team. And I can't judge about the past, about the previous coaches, but I think the potential is good, and we have to find a way to reach that potential. And for me, it starts. I don't know if you say it like that. Starts itching again. Like, the the motivation came higher and higher when I had my first talks with Hockey India. Let's like, okay, I see the potential. We have to reach it. It's important for the girls, for hockey, for India, and that's why I came back.
You see, I've been following you on social media, and I know you've been very closely following Indian hockey because you've been tweeting about it, you've been commenting on the sport. It's not as if you were away. So, in these 4 years, were you kind of following Indian hockey? Was there any thought that, you know what, if I get another opportunity, I'll go back to the country? This is not the way I should kind of call it quits after a dramatically brilliant run. Because again, I put it on record under you that fourth place performance, it was much more than a medal for us. I remember telling Rani Rampal, the skipper, at that point in Tokyo, that you may have lost the medal, but you won a billion hearts. So I said that and I hold to that. So you followed the sport. Was there a thought that if I get another opportunity, I will come back?
No, I never thought. I also never thought that I would come back. Yes, I did follow everything because yeah, India is in my heart. Everything what happened, the negatives, but also the positives. And negatives, I mean like not winning matches because it has been a long process, but also the corona. So it's not to finger point anyone, but it's just the way things happened at that time. So I kept following them, and then you feel like when you have worked so long with players and you see the results are not there, yeah, then you also feel like, okay, um, I feel sad for them. But I'm always busy. What can I control and what can't I control? And I was never busy if they ask me back. I only start thinking about it when they asked me. And then I felt like my mind went from left to right. Shall I do it? I have my family. I'm in a good position in the Netherlands. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But the more I start thinking about it, the more I get energy back as coaching myself again. Because in the last years, I've been guiding other coaches. I've been guiding coaches in professional soccer at the highest league. But then I felt like, no, the circumstances are different. The potential is there. If I create a good stuff like I had in Tokyo, because that's very important, then I see we can do much better than has been done now.
And can you, this before I go on to the veteran players and the fresh talent, now that you've been here for a while, I remember You came in, I think, on the 12th or the 13th of January, because I've been wanting to do this interview from day one. And I think I had reached out, that's why as well. So it's now been almost a month since you've come here. I will ask that question. But before that, can you tell me and give me the details a little bit as to how did it happen? Who called? What was the first interaction like? Was it a surprise? Then, we are storytellers. Give me a story. Come on, coach.
Yeah, I know you're storytellers. That's what I also love about the Indian journalists, and it's very good that that there's attention to hockey. Like Hockey India called me if I was interested in doing something for of in a job in Hockey India, and then my first, of course, I was surprised, and not surprised about the call, but more or less for my in my mind, I didn't thought about this. I was busy with other things, what I'm doing in the Netherlands. But immediately I say, absolutely, I'm open to talk further. And the next day I got the call, like, listen, we really want you as the women's coach. Will you think about it now? And then I start talking with my family, of course. That is for me very important, as you know. That's why I also left the first time. My children have become older. I've been 4.5 years home. I still have one of 14 years old, and also had yeah, a good walk with her, one on one with all the children actually, and they all say that if your feeling is good and you have the energy to go back to India and you feel like okay, you can make again a team, then and you can do beautiful things with them, please go. We will be fine. And we have contact. And from that moment, I know how it works with me. I start making plans in my mind. And like, okay, what kind of way do we the play? I watched videos. I watched the Hockey India League. I watched the Junior World Cup. And more plans came out of me. And that was for a long time, it wasn't there. And then I knew, and my wife also, like, okay, it's good. I'm in the good mindset. The energy to coaching a team is back.
So, when you met the players for the first time, how was it? I mean, how did they welcome you? Because I remember a lot of these players, the Savitas of the world, who's a very dear friend of mine, such a key role in Tokyo during that Australia game, the seven penalty corners. So these players were kind of your players. So how was the first meeting with the players? And tell me a little bit about the veterans and the fresh talent that you see.
Yeah, no, the first meeting was, of course, wonderful. It was really, yeah, recognizable. Like we know, of course, each other, and you see them smiling. And for me, it smiles. It feels like coming home. Like India feels like a second country for me, of course. And sometimes when they were on Instagram or they shared a picture of what they're doing, and now once in a while I reacted like or sent birthday wishes, so the contact was never completely done and not, and that felt really warm. And also with the youngsters, I had to learn their names, but that went really quickly. And for me the good thing is about coming back to India, I know how the processes are going, the administration processes, how the things are working with Sai, with Hockey India. So all these things made it for me much more easier, and it felt like in a few days already, like if I have never been away. And like, listen, we have youngsters who played the World Cup, and you don't always have to win with your team to create to have talents from the youngsters to the seniors. But I also see potential over there, and I think there is more potential than in the past in 2017 when I arrived. Um, but that doesn't mean okay immediately we will win prizes, we will tournaments, we win medals. Yeah, there has to be a lot of work being done.
World Cup qualifiers in March, not too far away.
Yeah, it's a very short one. Normally, you would prepare longer. You want to know how the girls are doing under pressure, and I know, of course, from the seniors, but I don't know from the others, which I never coached. And of course, I saw matches, but I've not been in that process, so I can't judge about that. For me, this tournament is about only one thing: qualifying, and it's about result.
Hmm. And more importantly, I mean, if I kind of take it forward, Asian Games is very, very important because there is Olympic qualification also on the line. The men's team has done well. Asian Games, the country, in our country, we keep following multidiscipline sports more, be it the Commonwealth Games, be it the Asian Games, be it the Olympic Games. So, your thoughts on that? Because the Japan Asian Games, Nagoya, will be very, very closely followed.
No, yeah, the good thing is I also have experienced this in 2018. When I was there, we had the Commonwealth Games, we had also the World Cup, and then the Asian Games, and then everybody also asked, like, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to choose for World Cup or Asian Games? And we said no, but it's both. Like World Cup can help us to do really well at the Asian Games, and we also know the main important thing is of course the Asian Games, but it doesn't mean we want to perform at the World Cup. But yeah, the first step at the World Cup to come at the World Cup is to
World Cup.
qualify. And that's also with the Nations Cup, of course. If you see the high quality matches now have been played during the Pro League, I'm a little bit jealous on the countries who are participating there because this will help also our youngsters to have exposure. And that's what we don't have. We have two practice matches now before the World Cup qualifier, and that's what we have to do. And England will be there, and they played against Netherlands, against China, so that is the difference. The only thing is accept the way it is, and we're not busy what we don't have. We are busy what we do have, and many things what we can control is organized really well. What I also want to mention, it's not only about me. Wayne Lombard is also back. He has also to strengthen the conditioning coaches, which he is guiding. So that's a really good thing. The medical team has been bigger. Matthias Villa has a lot of experience. Takema is now in the camp. We have a goalkeeper coach. So I think many good things happen. But again, we have to now work on. We have to now. First step is qualifying.
You reckon the Hockey India League will work? The Women's Hockey India League? I mean, I watched both seasons. This time I watched most of the matches. Some really good quality players, competitive matches. Does that kind of help a little bit?
Absolutely, and that's also one of the developments has been made in the past years since I left. More to exposure international, but also in the India for women's, and of course the Hockey India League. And I could see there already what players are capable of against really good players from other countries. And it's also when, for instance, if we are coming to Argentina, in the past you had India, they were doing their own thing, and Argentina. But I know for sure that some girls will walk to Gozlani and say, "Hi, how are you?" So the distance is not that big, and these are the small things which also help for us to get more confidence and also see like, listen, they're also human, and they also sometimes mistrap a ball or don't drag on the goal or whatever. And these small things also help, but also with the English. Like now, when I came back, 80% speaks and understands English. That's already a big step. A lot of girls are doing study. Also, for me, that's a big step. So good things have been done.
The Gozlani point is so good. I mean, I was watching the league for the Shrachi Tigers. I'm sure there will be camaraderie between players who played in the same team, and a lot of these Indian stars were part of that same team. It eventually boiled down to that shoot off. So I'm sure. I mean, in cricket we've seen that with the IPL. In football we are seeing that. In some ISL is again coming back. Men's Hockey India League, Harmanpreet and all these fellows keep talking about the impact. So I'm sure that will happen. But coach, two critical questions. There was a lot of talk. By the way, I don't want to go into negatives, but there was a lot of talk. The team was divided. The faith on the coach wasn't there. The players didn't want to play. There was divisions within the camp. The captain was kind of not in the same page with the rest of the players. So clearly, the image that we were getting from the outside is that this is a divided house, which is not in order. People are not in the best of relationships with each other. Synergy is lacking. How did you kind of approach this? Because it is not the best environment to walk into.
I understand what you mean. For me, it's about I'm a natural positive guy, and I always see opportunities. But I'm also very clear the way I want it. And to give you one example, everybody in life and players outside sports, they have personal goals, and that's good. At the end, it's about yourself. But to reach your personal goals, you have to focus on the team goals. Well, only then you will reach your personal goal. If you turn it around and you focus on your personal goal, You make small steps, and sometimes you will win things, but not structured. And that's the main difference. And that's also what I told the girls. If you want to win prizes, you have to focus on each other, and only then you will be really good. I think Vandana Kataria, our most kept played person, she was very focused at the Olympics on the team and constantly giving energy to others. And what happened? She became top scorer for India, but that was not her focus. And I think that is a good example. And on the approach from the staff, we have it has to be a balance of having fun with each other, having laughs with each other, but at the right moment, you need to be disciplined. And that's the process we are now busy with, and that they feel we need each other to win actually prizes. Otherwise, you have been 10 years international player, and you can say, listen, I've been 10 years international player, but I didn't win anything. That's no legacy.
Last couple of questions. You mentioned Vandana. Now, 320 caps don't come like that. Obviously, you must have enormous amount of talent, perseverance, resilience, commitment to be able to do that. Having said that, in Tokyo, when that caste thing happened, the team also rallied by her. You rallied by her. We rallied by her. Because when that whole caste issue came up, the entire country rallied by Vandana, right? And Vandana is a very close friend of mine, extremely close friend. Now, when Vandana retired, I thought it was a premature retirement. She even played this league for the Shrachi team. Is there any thoughts like that, coach, that okay, you think some players have perhaps given up the game, maybe not in the best circumstance? Would you want them to reconsider? How are you seeing the veterans? Can you kind of bring the veterans and the young ones together?
Yeah, like in this camp, that's one of the things we are busy with. You need each other, what I'm already saying. And like Vandana has a beautiful career and she can look back to something really great. She has a legacy, and that's something where she has to be very proud of. And now it's time for youngsters to fill in that big gap. And I think that that is something we have strikes who can do that, but they have to follow the example of Vandana, giving energy to the team, and the team will give energy to you. And it's also being very task driven. What is expected from you? And that is another thing we are busy with the team.
Last one, coach. How realistic? Because look, in India, we are a very result driven country without being process driven, and that's the problem. Result driven is fine. I mean, all of us want results in life. In your case, if you don't get results, then why are you a top professional? Same for me, for anyone. But there has to be a process behind the result. Only then can you expect the results. I mean, I can't give you the team in January or February and then say, hello, go and give me the gold medal in March. It doesn't happen like that. Having said that, there will be pressure on you at the Asian Games. How realistic is it? Do you think there's enough time to qualify for the Olympic Games? Do you think there's enough time to do well in the World Cup qualifiers and make a mark at the Asian Games? Your thoughts realistically?
Yeah, like this is difficult. In general, I think that women's hockey has improved. What I just said in the last 4 years, I see teams playing better structure, more players from countries who can make our decision players. So it will be a very big challenge. But for me, it's always like who expected us to be fourth from with the Olympics. So everything is possible. For me, it's difficult now to say, yeah, we're gonna be Asian champion. We're gonna be we're gonna win the Asian Games. We're gonna do well at the World Cup. Uh, it will cost time. And with the last time, we lost more than we won. But every time we kept pushing and pushing. We learned from the moments we didn't win. And that is also what's now. Do we have a chance with the tournaments? Absolutely. Yeah. But it depends on so many things. And yeah, and that's what we are working day in, day out. And for me, pressure is like, what can I control and what can't I control? I can control the process here in camp. I can control how I'm guiding them. I can control how my staff, how we do that, but I can't control the outcome. But we have to make sure that everything what's put before the outcome is as good as we want. And that's why I also want to one time mention it's not only me, but it's a really big staff behind me who's doing this day in and day out. And I'm a big believer of the process, just what you're saying.
Let me end there. Let me end there saying that in 2016, when we went to Rio, we finished last. We were pretty bad. I went and covered that games. I've covered multiple Olympic games, and obviously these girls are friends. I mean, I've seen them grow. I've seen them become stars, be it Savita, Rani, Vandana, anyone, even the young ones, Sushila and Sunelita and people. But if Tokyo was possible after Rio, then anything's possible. From where we were to beating Australia in that quarterfinal, and I remember the girls running into the ground and that Bollywood songs being played in Tokyo. I will never forget that day. That was one of the best ever days of the Olympic Games as an Indian journalist or as an Indian media professional. So, Shard, I will hope that you will give us back that. You will give us back those days, and I wish you all the very best. It will be challenging, but that's what life is. Life is unfair. Having said that, we will back you as Indian journalists and scholars and academics and people invested in the sport. Hockey is very close to us. So be assured this country loves you and will back you to try and deliver as much as you can.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm looking forward to go on with the girls and make India proud.
Same here. Look forward and thank you very much.
Thank you.